And this is definitely an album that you should, without a doubt, not hear. Okay? You need to thoroughly and deeply listen to it. All right, guys. So I've been literally contemplating for the last couple weeks now, trying to figure out exactly how best to describe the album that I just encountered. Yes, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. Now, what's interesting about this project is that he took 5 years to complete it, right? It is a double LP, so maybe that's the reason why it took so long, right? I do see growth, don't get me wrong. Now, from the songs we've actually encountered here on the channel, there has absolutely been growth in his content, I would say, overall, right? He's definitely now taking a much more direct stance towards sensitive topics. That's definitely appreciated, okay? Now, what's interesting, though, also, is that this is definitely not a project that you would put into your car, okay? Play as loudly as humanly possible in your sound system on the way to a club. This is not that, right? This is the type of music that you sit down with, right? With a pen and a pad, taking an extremely introspective analysis of every single bit of these lyrics, guys, right? That is what he has given us, and again, respect for that. Now, let's go ahead and jump into some of the tracks, guys. United in Grief, the first track. Now, what stands out to me definitely is that this is, without a doubt, the Kodak Black challenge that dictates you to never let them know your next move, because that's what this is sonically, okay? This is the most unpredictable song that I have ever encountered in life, guys. Absolutely. It does not equate to regular music, because it's not. It's different, right? From the piano chords to the melodies to the drums to, at times, feeling like hard rock or overall rock. These are super different genres that he's melding into this one pot that is called United in Grief. He touches on topics like, for the most part, depression, mental health issues, and spending money or blowing money to basically just cover up the fact that you are you feel miserable, right? To cover up the fact that you are really not who you are to the public perception, right? There are a couple of other songs on this album that go over that same, for the most part, overall topic, but this one I think does it the best, right? Super deep rhetorical questions and answers that are answered within verse number 1. Guys, this is a absolutely dope track, guys, all right? No question. Track number 5, Father Time. Listen, so what they give us is a super jazzy piano tune, 90s bass line, feels very boom bap, right? It feels like real hip hop, right? In its super gritty form. But if you listen a little deeper, you'll start to realize that what he is talking about is the overall trauma men tend to put onto their sons, right? Like a genetic trauma, if you want to call it that, right? So our fathers tell us absolutely no crying, no weakness, no blah, 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 right? Well, in all actuality, that is absolutely damaging every single male child for the future. Personally, for me, I would like to have my son as physically strong as he is emotionally and mentally strong, right? Unfortunately for me, I'm a lost cause. Guys, I have Asperger's, I have autism, right? So the whole idea of even encountering emotions the same way as everyone else does that's not going to happen ever, right? It just won't happen. And lyrically, this song is absolutely amazing, guys. It's just a poem, it feels like. And this brings us to track 5, disc 2, Savior. Super edgy, transgressive for the most part here. No piano, no strings, just overall distorted vocals. It's a great sound, I would say. It's definitely unique. Again, this is the trend of the album, to come with something different from what everyone else is doing. And for him, it works generally. But now, the reason why I point this song out specifically are the lyrics, right? The lyrics themselves are, for the most part, going over parasocial relationships that fans have with their favorite favorite celebrity crush, and I'm going to call it a celebrity crush, right? Absolutely do not make these people your idols, and I think that's really what he's going over, right? Idols are human; they are not gods. They're also not they are not the perfect role models. And that's what I think I like about this song the most, is because he's pointing out things to people, like, just because you listen to him every single day and you watch his music videos, etc., right? You think you know him, but if he sees you, he's never seen you before, okay? So that's kind of what he's going over, and he's basically drawing the lines kind of on that, right? So the first verse itself goes over a numerous amount of racial issues. The second goes into, the COVID for the most part, right? And overall political correctiveness, maybe, right? I respect on that, right? No complaints here. And then basically the third verse itself goes over telling people that he is a man, right? He is a flawed man. He is absolutely not a hero, guys. So hero worship is not something that he specifically is attracted to. So in closing, okay, the general theme of the album is purely just mental health and how it affects his life and career. You do notice that there's a whole lot of messages throughout the album itself about reflection and just being aware of who you are, what you yourself can do to society, and just overall personal growth. That's the type of reflection that I'm kind of getting from it. In terms of that by itself, absolutely amazing. I always love positive messages and things that can help people grow. And I think this album, for the most part, can do that, right? It is very deep. It does have a very introspective vision. It's solid, guys. And this is definitely an album that you should, without a doubt, not hear, okay? You need to thoroughly and deeply listen to it. I mean it, right? And that's kind of where I am with this album. Would I personally think that this is an album that will be studied for the rest of time? No, absolutely not. This will not be. It absolutely will not be. But do I think that this is worth someone listening to at least once or twice? Oh yeah, there are a lot of deep messages. There's a lot of things that are very important on this album. So I would honestly say that this is probably a 7.5, guys, right? A solid 7.5 out of 10. For me personally, my own personal opinion, I would put it around there. I'm not saying that it is perfect. I'm not saying that it is absolutely amazing, right? But it is very good, right? Absolutely very good. It's definitely worth a listen, at the very least, guys, right? But all right, listen, let me know in the comments of the next thing from him that I should be checking out, and I will get into that as soon as I possibly can, all right? Listen, you guys all have an amazing day. Enjoy it thoroughly, all right?